Baby, I'm back, yeah. I'm back.
I'm back! People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
My back. Oh, my back.
I'm out. Under the table right now. I'm out.
I think you get the point. Yep, I'm back. This is Ego and Vice.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Born and raised in South Bay. Lower class punk ass, I was Northwood grade. I had it made. Spent my nights drinking with my mates. Just a short bus ride up to PA. Red River Raid. Then I hit the wall and I knew I had to bounce. They still say that 19 years ago. Well, I got the hell out. From time to time you may see me hanging around. Now I feel like a stranger in this town. Crocs and rolls is where I learned to play. Westwood Tavern's where I learned.
Yes. What's going on? This is Mike. This is episode 80. And this is Ego and Vice. How's everyone doing? I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Yeah, season 5. How cool is that? Who thought 5 years ago, 2017, when I started this mess, I would still be doing it. And it has kind of peaked and it has kind of valleyed. Can you say that? Peaks and valleys? Sure. Over the years that I've been doing it. The last 2 years were probably the most difficult. Also, probably the most difficult to keep a schedule with. Because, I had not a lot of motivation. Plus, there wasn't much to talk about. Every time you talk to somebody that you hadn't talked to in a while, whether it be on the phone or Zoom, was just like, it was all about COVID or the pandemic or the lockdown. And it's amazing how that just became just well, obviously, how could it not have become everyone's world? Because that was our world. This is our world. It's still our fucking world. So, I don't know. I try and make a point when I see people to, unless they bring it up, I'll absolutely talk about it. But it's not small. Like, it's like this global pandemic is like small talk now. It's like, hey, Dave, how's it going? Good. So, nice to be outside, eh? And it's just like, Jesus, fuck. What happened about the weather? Remember when we used to talk about the weather? Or like the local sports team? Now it's COVID this and COVID that. But it's understandable. It's just monopolized our everyday and ruined our lives. Has it ruined your life? I wouldn't say it's ruined my life. I'd say it's definitely changed my life. What I was doing 2 years ago compared to what I'm doing now is very different. Although, it's kind of, you don't notice it because you know how like they say, like, say you're losing weight or something like that. And when you look in the mirror every day, you don't notice it. But then when you see someone, they're like, oh my God, you look great. You've lost so much weight. And then you say, oh, well, thank you. I guess I have. I find, looking back, what I was just getting at was the person I was 2 years ago compared to the person I am now. I'd like to meet somebody, or not meet somebody, but see somebody that I haven't talked to regularly in 2 years, but someone who knew me well, and then meet up with them like 2 years later now. And I wonder if they would notice change, because I kind of feel like the same person. I know things around me have changed, but obviously when things around you change with the environment, right? So I wonder how different I actually am. I know I'm more bitter, a little more cynical, full of hatred. No. Well, sometimes you got to catch me on the right day. I don't know. I just think I can't stand, like, okay, let me say this. Some parts of the lockdown I kind of enjoyed because I didn't have to be around people. Does that make sense? Does anyone else feel that way, or am I just awful? I kind of liked not being around people every day. I liked going out where there was only 12 people in the grocery store, one person in line. Those were good times. And that's all kind of coming to an end. We got a taste of it recently when everything was kind of back to normal. And then this Omicron thing hit, and now everything's locked down again, and the whole world has fucking lost their mind again. Well, Canada has. America, they're just moving on with life. 50,000 people in a football stadium, but we can't open a small business. Hey! This is not a political podcast. These are just my opinions, and I'm not going to get too deep into them either because I don't want to argue about it anymore. Ego and Vice to me is the safe haven where I can just kind of vent a little bit. But that doesn't mean I can just air my grievances without being accountable for them. So I'm going to hold a few things in because I don't want to argue. I don't want to debate. I'm just saying what I observe. But I am vaxxed. Triple vaxxed, actually. And I wear my mask. I'm not part of the anti-vax, anti-mask, lizard hunting, child eating, blood drinking. Facebook told me to stab my neighbor in the face. Fucking jerk off crew. But hey, things are looking up. Yeah, I'm just an old punk rocker with civic responsibilities. I quit drinking. That's one good thing I've done over the last, what is it today? The 1st of February. 37 days. 37 days since I've had a beer. And it's all I would drink. I would only drink beer. I wouldn't drink booze or anything like that. Coors Light. They call me Coors Mike. That's right. Well, I don't think they call me that, but no, I quit because I'm getting old, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's my show and I'm describing myself, so sorry, plug your ears. I was a fat piece of shit is what I was. And I felt like crap. And the time came where I said, you know what? I'm done feeling like a fat piece of shit. I need to fix this. So I woke up one morning fucking hung over. It was right after Christmas. I drank my way through Christmas. It was good, so I've been told. I don't know. But yeah, it's always good to quit drinking one of those mornings when you're just laying on the couch, like you literally crawled out of bed and you made it to the couch to lay down again and you're like shriveled up and you're shaking and your fucking sides hurt and you say, I think I'm never drinking again. And that's when I quit. I just decided to quit. So 37 days later, I've dropped 13 pounds. 13, that's like the weight of my head. Like if we went back 37 days ago and you literally like cut my head off, that's how much I'd weigh. But now I could keep my head and I weigh 13 pounds less. And all the cliche stuff, like, oh, I'm sleeping better and I'm losing weight and my appetite's back and I have energy and all that stuff, all the cliched stuff is completely happened to me. So whoever wrote that stuff, that's pretty good. But the big one for me is clarity. Like my brain, I think the longest I've ever quit drinking for, literally in the last 20 years, was probably about a year or two ago. I quit for like 17 days and I was like, woo, me, because that was an achievement. But then on the 18th day, I'm like, oh, I guess I was fine. The old trap, right, where your brain plays the tricks. Oh, I guess I was completely fine after all, and I can quit whenever I want again. Let's go to the beer store and celebrate this victory. 17 days. Anyway, 37 days. What I was getting to is the clarity that I have is crazy. And that probably kicked in at about two weeks ago, I think, where I just woke up and I was flooded with all these thoughts like, wow, I should do this and this and this. And when I'm clear, I don't know. I want to be creative. I've been playing a ton of guitar. Tons of guitar. And I've been writing a bunch of songs that I plan on recording and releasing. Maybe by the spring, maybe sooner. Who knows? I have the tools and I have the technology. We'll see. I'm also starting a YouTube channel for Ego and Vice. It is called Ego and Vice TV. I'm going to call it EVTV. I'm not going to go into too many details of what that actually is about, but I think it's going to be pretty fun, and it's going to be a surprise. And it's one more thing for me to procrastinate and hate that I started, because now I have a responsibility to myself to keep making them. Super duper. But that's how I roll, baby. Yeah. And lastly, I started snowboarding again. Shit. Best thing I've done. Best thing I've redone. Ever. I go with a friend of mine and try to get out 2 days a week. And I've been doing that since just after Christmas. Or was it before? No, it was after. Anyway, best thing I've ever redone. I used to snowboard in Thunder Bay. Moved to the big city, stopped. 20 years later, started again. Just like riding a bike. I'm sensational. I'm absolutely sensational. I'll just leave it there. And I'm going Wednesday, tomorrow. So, see you on the hill. So, yeah, I have a guest on the podcast today. His name is Doug Hempstead. And I've known him for maybe 15 years. He's a writer. He's a journalist. He doesn't call himself a musician, but I think he's a musician. I think the guy's brilliant. We were in a band. We started a band together long time ago. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but I'm going to give him a ring. I'm going to play a song and just to get everything going. So welcome to Ego and Vice Season 5. We got a lot of episodes over the next 12 months, so I should stop talking and save something for the next one. But it's great to be back. I'm really looking forward to the year and the season and all the fun stuff to come. So anyway, after this tune, we'll be on the line with Doug Hempstead. This is Ego and Vice.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's an emergency. Call the police. You left me and abandoned the list. I don't know why you're gone. I walk these floors like a country song. Oh, where you been? I called all your friends. They were hush-hush on what's happening. I called your mama too. She never could get through to you.
Hello.
Hey, Doug. Surprise. It's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
How's it going?
Hey. Good, man. Good.
Been a while.
It has. Recognize your voice anywhere.
Well, that's because it is the golden voice. At least that's what they tell me.
Oh.
So what are you doing?
Oh, not too much. I'm just finished doing traffic reporting. It is incredibly quiet. We're waiting for several hundred truckers to show up in the city of Ottawa on Saturday.
I heard about that. Yeah. That's
so.
gonna
I've never been so happy I didn't have to work on a Saturday before.
That's gonna be a mess, isn't it?
It could be. It could be.
Traffic.
We'll see. And these things are always promised to be huge, and I don't know. Like I've been a journalist since 1994, so I've been through Hay West and the March for Life and Idle No More and Take Back the Night and Pride parades and Remembrance Day parades and Santa Claus parades and large crowds. It's difficult to know even how big they're going to be and what kind of disruption they're going to have. This is, I guess, of all the cities in this country, this is the one that's probably best prepared for it. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, it should be something to see when they're all up on the hill and stuff. So, yeah, you've been a journalist. You said since '94. That's how we met too. Just I remember you were working for. Was it A Channel at the time or? It
was A Channel at the
it
time.
Was A
yeah.
Channel, yeah.
I think it was.
Because my ex-wife, she used to work there, and we met through there. And I think why did we put that band together? We put a band together, and we played like at a charity gig for.
We played at a white ribbon campaign. We played on the same bill as
Alan Frew.
What's his name? Alan Frew from Glass Tiger. In fact, I ended up filling in on bass for him in crutches. I was in crutches because I tore my meniscus.
Right, you
I had
knee.
surgery the day before. So I played, and he performed, he even did a cover of Imagine, which is like one of those songs. Alan just shouldn't do that. And he and I, our paths kind of cross. He and I, our paths kind of crossed, not directly. He doesn't know about this, but I put out an album 2 years ago called Viscount, and I did an album release party. I did 2 album release parties. I did one in Pembroke, where I'm from, and I did one here in Ottawa. And the one here in Ottawa was great. It was, I did it with Dave Merritt and the Golden Seals, and it was fun. It was at Irene's. The one in Pembroke, and it's a town of 15,000 people.
Sure.
So the same night that we're playing our album release party, Glass Tiger is performing. Basically just a block away. That's great. Just awesome. So here in Ottawa, Glass Tiger is not going to really draw too much of your own crowd away. You know what I mean? If you're playing a show or I'm playing a show, we're not really worried about Glass Tiger taking our people. But in Pembroke,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess so. There's only so many to go around, right?
Sure does.
I remember that gig where he came alone, and I remember he was walking around. He was like cherry picking like certain members out of the opening bands. Saying, you play drums? You play bass? You play guitar? Okay, we'll play this song. And he just stood up there by himself, and he's like, just play like G, C, D or something. And then he did the old Glass Tiger songs. Well, a couple of them, Thin Red Line.
Yeah, he did.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. There was let's see. Although there's
Sun.
Yeah, there was another one.
I don't know.
That's it. Yeah, Midnight, Diamond Sun.
Diamond Sun. Oh, Diamond Sun has to burn. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
it.
And then everyone just kind of like winged it, and it worked. So it was cool. Yeah, that was fun. So, area resident, how's that going?
Going pretty well, I think. It's not. Yeah. It's not something that I'm gonna be rich. I'm not the Guess Who.
No.
Or anything. Yeah. But I've got another album that's about ready to come out. So this would be the 6th one in basically as many years. And I was gonna do like an EP, and it ended up being an album instead. So I've got that pretty much ready to roll. It's just sort of, it's for the most part mixed. It's for the most part mastered. It's like 2 or 3 weeks. I think I can probably put that out.
That's awesome. As long as I've known you, you've always been, I guess you're a singer-songwriter, but you're also just like you make music, like you play everything. I remember I don't know if you gave me CDs back in the day, like
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago, CDs, and
Would have been.
and it was just like you write the songs and then you play the songs and you release the songs. And I know you've put together the band, like you've played with other members as area resident for gigs and stuff, but primarily you basically just write it, record it, and release it. Does that make sense?
It does, but it's even weirder than that.
Okay.
So when you and when I met you, I
Mm-hmm.
I was at sort of a transformative stage. It was pretty early in my stage of doing my own music at home. I had a digital 4-track, and I was doing stuff on a digital 4-track, which meant that I was able to like record a song that had like 16 tracks and then export it to the computer. And I'd have to erase the song in order to do something new.
Right.
So all those songs, I only have an MP3 version of all those songs that I did, probably 100 of them.
So
from that period.
you couldn't save like a master or anything. Basically, you had to record it, cut it, and
No.
then
Yeah.
it was gone.
No, and I've gone back over. There's like of those 100 songs, there's maybe a dozen that were good, and I've picked a few of those here and there for area resident stuff. Some of them I revisited and did. You and I actually used to perform one of them. There was a song that I did with my daughter called oh my goodness. Anyway, it was a song I did with my daughter, and you had sort of rejigged it and changed the chorus of the verse or something. You changed something or a bridge, and we ended up like doing a workup of it. And I actually meant to go back over that song and redo it myself sometime. I haven't managed to do that. It's one of the better ones.
I remember that song because I really liked that song because it had a really I think the chorus I think we just beefed it up a little bit, and I sang some of the chorus or something, and you did the verses, and I would punch in the chorus, and I can't remember how it went.
Called "Don't Look Surprised." It was called "Don't Look Surprised."
Is that what it was? Okay.
I'm sorry, it's so sorry, but don't you look surprised?
Oh yeah, I still have like I swear to God, I still have the CD that you gave me somewhere because I keep all that stuff. I never throw it out, but I used to record. I'm pretty sure I used to record like our jam sessions, but wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Wasn't it? I think I had like a boombox, like a ghetto blaster there.
Yeah.
I used to record them just on cassette tape because I have tons of that stuff.
Well, some of those condenser mics on boomboxes sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if
so the way the songwriting works.
Yeah.
The way the songwriting works is weird. So what happens is I don't write songs. I record songs. I sit down here where I am right now in front of my computer in the basement here, and I basically decide what kind of song do I want to try to do, and I'll decide how fast it's going to be or how slow it's going to be, and I'll pick an instrument to start with, whether it's when I start with a guitar or keyboards, or sometimes I even start songs with drums. Like that's the first thing I put down, or bass, and then I just sort of make a song. I just sort of record a song rather than writing it first. I don't ever write a song before I record it.
Wow.
I write it as I'm recording it.
So yeah, so it's all kind of spontaneous, like it's impromptu, like, oh, that sounded good. Oh, well, that was a mistake, but it sounded good, that type of thing. And
well, I'm not a musician like you're a musician, right? Like if you let's say that you and I were going, like you and I we both went to like Howard Cosell Memorial High School together. We both went to high school, and it's our reunion.
Sure.
And we're going back to Oakville to our high school reunion, right?
Yeah, okay.
And you're bringing along your acoustic guitar. You could bring along your acoustic guitar, and you could sit around. We could be sitting at a field party or whatever, and you could bring out your acoustic guitar, and you could start singing songs that you wrote, or songs by whoever.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah. Like something. Yeah.
I can't do that.
Oh.
I can't do that. I can't. I have guitars. I have a lot of guitars, and I play guitar on all my albums. But I'm no guitar player. I can't sit and play guitar. I open tune everything, right? And I what I do is I find bits and little sequences, little walk downs, little riffs, little hooks, little something or other, and I will string them together with other parts. And sometimes I'll start the song with one of those, or sometimes I'll start it with something else, or maybe I'll have something in mind and I'll just try to find a way to make the sounds that I can hear in my head, but I can't actually play the guitar. I'm a bass player and a drummer basically, but you don't, what do you know, hey, come out tonight to the Black Squirrel and hear Doug Hempstead play bass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys know this one? It's called Cinnamon Girl.
He's a
no
solo
one's gonna
bassist.
do that.
Yeah.
He is so. So I can't. I
That's
don't
really
have that
interesting.
luxury.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
And I don't play. I have all kinds of keyboards, but I don't really play piano properly. Again, I can work out parts to play, and so when I do a song, it might sound fairly simple, but it could be 26 tracks because the guitar part that you hear is maybe 4 different tracks because I can't play it all that way. I need to do the do part, and then another part that goes over it and comes down through it. So when you put the two of them together, it sounds like a, and I would notice this because like when I put together a band to perform this stuff.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, how does that? What's that
The
process?
guitar players could play. They could just play the guitar part as they heard. Like they would listen to the song. Like I would send them, I would send them files of the songs, and they would learn the guitar parts, and they could play in one go a thing that took me about 4 or 5
put
tracks
together. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
And they could just play it as though.
Oh, I was gonna
with
say
their 2 hands and
I
their
was,
skill.
I was gonna say because there's different layers of guitar. I was gonna say, do they have to pick which one they want to play, or like which track? No, okay.
There is some layers of guitar, but for a lot of it too is just that I can't put together. I need more than one track to make it sound like a proper guitar part.
Gotcha. Have you always done it that way ever since the beginning?
That's the only way I can do
The
it.
structure that you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So once a song is finished, though, like once it's finished, say you've recorded the song and it's done and you've heard it, it's on 2 albums ago. Could you pick up your bass, play, like as I said, play on the second album, play track 6, just play the rhythm on your bass and sing with it? Could you play the track then? Once it's done, you're talking more or less about writing then. Like that's
probably as well as you could. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, no, I get you.
If I grabbed one of your one of your songs from 5 years ago and said, "Hey, can you play this?" You might go, "Yeah, give me a minute," and I can.
Yeah. No, I get you. It's not remembering it, but once it's done, it's a song that's playable. Is what I'm asking because the way you put it together, it's Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the other complicating factor is, and this is where things get really weird, is that it might not be me playing it. For the most, like on all the areas and albums, I would say 95% of the bass playing that you hear is me, maybe more. 95%. Maybe 2% of the drumming that you hear is me. 50% of the guitar playing is me. 50%, 60% of the keyboards is me, and 90% of the vocals is me. So, there's only a handful of songs that I actually put the drums on, and it's not because I'm not a great drummer, but it's not. The reason for that is that getting a good drum sound is so important that if you get a shitty drum sound, like I'm more likely to get, it brings the fidelity of the whole recording down.
Right.
So what I'm more likely to do is to create a drum track using loops. And sort of building a drum track out of often as many as like 20 different loops or bits of loops, backwards sections of things, samples and stuff. And I'll build my own drum beat, one that's easily that you can lock into and set a click to and that kind of thing, and has an obvious beats per minute, 140 or 180 or whatever.
Yeah.
And as the song goes on, maybe we'll end up keeping that actual fake drum track, and maybe when I send it to my producer buddy Jordan, who does this, does all my albums, I'll say, "Hey, can you replace the drums with real drums?" And he'll say, "Sure. What's the beats per minute?" And I'll say, "It's 146." Yeah. He's okay, no problem.
So
and he'll he's the drummer on the record,
right?
For the most part.
So he like fills in some gaps, and Jordan Zadarozny, he basically just mixes it, makes it all.
Well, like we've been friends since we were 5. So there's a musician producer arrangement.
Yeah.
There's a friends arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's like a session musician arrangement as well. So
Gotcha.
basically, what I'll do is I'll send him a song saying, first of all, what do you think of this? Is this just boring, whatever? And he'll say, yeah, it's kind of soft, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll forget it. I'll scrap it. He says, but the bridge is really cool. Do something at the bridge. And so I'll delete the rest of the song and keep the bridge and turn it into a. Yeah, that's how the title track of Delano became a song. It was the bridge of a really bad song, and just deleted it and wrote. I turned the bridge into the verses and wrote a chorus, and that's how I did that song because he liked the bridge, but the rest of it was boring.
Yeah.
But so he'll give me that advice whether something is good or not, worth pursuing or not, or where it fits. And then I'll give him the song and I'll say, I think it for sure needs live drums, but whatever else you think it needs. And so he'll do whatever I specifically ask him to do, like backing vocals or a keyboard part. Because I've known him since we were 5, like we kind of have a language. Like I'll say, I need, the custard pie guitar sound here.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, okay, I know what you mean. I've got a super amp. I can do that. He knows, our references are the same.
Sure.
And,
well, yeah, you guys like, not just knowing each other that long, well, obviously helps, but you guys are both, like music nerds too, aren't you?
I suppose. Yeah, we both love music.
Jordan's
we both like a lot of stuff.
Like Jordan's a brilliant guy. Definitely. He's if you need someone in your corner to help you, like with your, write or.
He's the best because for me, because I've known him so long and I trust him. He doesn't intimidate me.
Yeah.
I trust his opinion.
I'm sure he's honest too.
He's not going to hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? And he doesn't like blow smoke up your ass either.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
you don't get a lot of like compliments. You don't get him like like flooding social media with what he's done to help you. Like you know what I mean? He just quietly does it.
He's basically
he'll add guitar. He'll add lead guitar. He's had keys. He does like I said. He's mostly the drummer and area resident. All that stuff. But then he'll just mix things. Or if I've done a part that's crappy, he'll just take it out. He'll just take like you say, dude, your bass is out of tune. Your bass is out of tune, and he'll just take it right out and do a different bass part.
Yeah.
The title track Viscount off like 2 albums ago. I had sent him a song, and the only thing that like a completed song, drums, bass, keyboards, and my vocals, and the only thing that's left in that song that I did is there's a little bit of rhythm guitar and my vocals. Otherwise, the rest is him.
Nice.
He's changed it all, but it sounds awesome, and I did write it.
Sure it does. Yeah, that's awesome.
But
it's your idea. It came from you, right? So that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
but there's a lot of stuff on this new record that actually is me, including I do play drums on one song, and a lot of it is the drums that I've constructed as well. But I do actually play live drums on one song, and I think he plays drums on 3 songs. But that's it, which is quite a bit less than what he's done in the past.
Well, you said you had 6 area resident records out now. 6.
This is the 6th one. Yeah,
and
Quasar is the 6th
how many
one.
years has it been? It hasn't been that long though.
6 years.
6 years. Wow. And how often do you honestly have time? Like you sound like a busy guy. Like when do you do it? Just in your spare time, or do you I don't know. It's just 6 albums in 6 years. Jesus, I released 5 EPs in 10 years, and that was a lot of work for me. I'm marveling at the volume of your writing. In such a short amount of time is what I'm trying to get across.
I could probably do a lot more. This is one of the ways in which ADHD can be a superpower, I suppose.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like my job now, like I'm a traffic reporter, so I have 5 hours off between shifts. I work a split shift, so in the morning after the morning show, I've got 5 hours off before I have to be on the air again. So. It's you can be creative at that time.
Yeah.
And the gear is all down here in the basement. Like I've been working from home since March of 2020.
Yeah.
I've actually got less to show for my time this year than I do ever before. But yeah, to be honest too, like with the period of actually coming up with songs is the thing that's the easiest. Like really from start to finish, the recording, my portion of recording songs that end up on the album, like let's say 10 songs, can be done in about a month. And then the rest of it's just getting it mixed and then you know, and all the flipping paperwork and there is that goes with putting together an album, or if God forbid, if you try to do what I did 3 times, just put things out on vinyl.
Yeah.
So you have to get, you know, vinyl masters as well as
You're not doing that anymore?
other
the
masters,
vinyl?
and
No?
Jesus, expensive. I did 3 records that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, the last one I had a CD made. I think this time I might not even get a CD. There's some places that require CDs, like some radio stations in the States and in Canada, they want a hard copy for their libraries and stuff. But they're totally fine with a CDR. You know what I
you
mean?
just
So
burn
I can
it,
just,
right?
I can just burn them a CD.
Yeah. You
and
don't
send
have
it to
to
them.
get it made.
Right. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm if people want hard copies, I'll send them. I'm just going to do a digital album. I'm just going to do just totally digital album. Although what I might do as well. I'm thinking I've been getting into. You probably noticed on my Facebook, I've gone crazy with quadraphonic sound.
Oh yeah.
So one thing I'm toying with actually is getting 8 tracks made.
Wow. There's places that actually do that?
Mm-hmm.
You thought vinyl was expensive though, right?
They're not that expensive. $15.
Oh wow, that's crazy. 8 tracks, yeah. I saw your you were posting it. You put a shout out to. Does anyone have any quadraphonic 8 tracks floating around? And I guess you got some.
Mm-hmm. I got some. Yeah, some of them are like crazy expensive, man. Some of them are crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Like, you know, $600 and stuff. They don't have to be quadraphonic to be expensive. Some of them are just the rare ones, like Two Virgins by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. You know, the one where they're naked on the cover?
Yeah.
$3,000, $3,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not even all that rare.
Just because I was about to say, is it rare? Like, is it just, or is
Not
it just
all that
because
rare.
of what it is?
It was wildly unpopular.
Yeah, well,
Not
I
all
guess.
that rare.
I had a friend when I lived in Thunder Bay, and this is probably back in the mid '90s, and he was collecting 8 tracks then. But I remember growing up when I was a kid, like in the early '80s, and we had like the big silver-fronted stereo with the switches and the knobs, and we had a ton of 8 tracks. It's amazing the things that come in and out of your life that you wish you held on to, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing that people always complain about the 8 tracks is the 4 programs, right? So you'd be right in the middle of a song and click, it goes on.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen with quad 8 tracks. The quadraphonic 8 tracks only have 2 programs.
Oh, okay.
Because two of the tracks are being used with the reverse, right? So for the 2 speakers and 2 speakers, right? And so quad has got 4 signals. Right. So the quad 8 tracks only have 2 channels. So it's just like side 1 and side 2. So there are no songs that are broken up.
Can you rewind? No way. Quadraphonic?
You cannot. You can fast forward.
Yeah, I remember that. But the reason you couldn't rewind on a regular 8 track is because there was recording on the other side that you would be. I don't know how to explain that, but it makes sense.
It's a loop. It's an endless loop.
Yeah. So it can only go
so you
forward.
Can put it on and just put it on all day.
Cool.
It'll just go forever.
That's awesome. So you're working on your 7th album now, or do you even look at it in that sense, or you just write a bunch of songs and say, well,
sixth album. The 6th album is pretty much in the can. So it'll be the 7th album. I'll start the 7th album in like March.
Yeah. And do you set out to actually make an album, or do you just write songs until you have enough, and then you say, well, that's enough for this one. This all makes sense as a whole project.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, there's not any concept albums.
No. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I just that album is done. Time to move on to the next project. Sometimes there's like it's just projects. It's just basically here's a group of songs that I wrote. That's an album. We'll move on, next album to another group of songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's. I think this new album is probably perhaps pretty varied stylistically. It sounds like Area Resident.
Yeah.
I think, and it's maybe not as goofy. It's maybe not as goofy. I've written a lot of songs like about quirky news stories that I've covered and stuff over the years. There's none of that on this record. This one's
it's a love story.
No, not entirely. There's some stuff on there because like my marriage broke up and I'm with somebody else now and again. So that's been a big part of my life and quitting drinking and that kind of stuff and getting diagnosed with anxiety and ADHD and
lots of
figuring
material.
a lot of stuff out. So,
yeah, definitely.
So that ends up flavoring things, but there's not songs well, I say there's not songs about that. The opening track of the album is called Vivance, which is an amphetamine that I'm on for ADHD.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, it is. Yeah, it is about that, and it's not preachy and woeful, and it's not sickening. It just sounds like a record.
Well, it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to hear it. Sure. Yeah, I don't have. I've been struggling for songwriting lately. I think we had a conversation a couple months ago, and I was just venting in a beer-induced writer's block. I hate music. I'm done. I quit. I don't pick it up that much anymore, like my guitar. I just once in a while I'll pick it up, I'll play something, and I'm like, I just don't care right now. Like I find that the older I've gotten, I'm running out of things to say. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Because I've always wrote like punk stuff, and
I guess if that's where you were coming from,
I don't know.
In the first place,
if
that's how you were doing it.
Yeah, I think I always wrote like punk stuff, so I was always angry at something. But now I'm older and I'm not that angry, so I don't know. So your daughter's like a super pro athlete too. I've been seeing some of the posts. She broke some records for cycling for 48 hours straight or 24 hours straight or something.
24 hours straight. Yeah, she
That's
did
awesome. That's so good.
Fixed bike. So like a indoor e-bike training bike. Rode it for set a distance record for women for 24 hours.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was what? Yeah, it was last year. I think around this time or something like that. Roughly around this time. She's now currently over in. She went to Spain. She's living with a bunch of people over there training in Girona, which is northwestern Spain, but she's signed with a bike team that's based out of France, and that's where she is now. She's at a meet with them, they're getting together and training and like a meet and greet and sort of, and it looks like she's probably going to move to France.
Wow,
she's probably going to. I found out today that she might just stay in France.
That's super good. You must be proud.
Yeah, it's weird. When they grow up big time. You know what I mean? So
getting old, eh, Doug?
I don't think so. They are, not me.
Yeah, that's right.
Not me.
Yeah, they get older, and I stay the same age.
Basically.
Anyway. All right, man. Yeah, it's been great catching up. It's been a while since we've actually talked. But I thought I'd give you a call, and see what was going on.
Yeah, thank you.
Where can we listen to Area Resident? I guess I know it's on Spotify. It's probably the best place to go. Or
it's on Spotify, or if that's it depends what you use. If you're an Apple Music person, it's there too. If you're Deezer or Amazon or Google Play, it's there too. If you just want to go, the best quality files are probably on my Bandcamp, which is
Bandcamp.
We can just go to Bandcamp and Area Resident. So arearesident.bandcamp.com.
Where can I buy some
vinyl? So all
vinyl?
the stuff is there. Where can you buy some vinyl? You can buy it off of me directly. You can also get it from the Record Center. They've got some because those albums came out on Record Center Records.
Cool. All right.
They've got them.
Anyone who's out there who's going to listen to some good music, they should definitely check out Area Resident. You've talked to Doug. You've heard Doug. You know how he does it, and I know you're super curious to hear what that sounds like if you haven't heard it already. So definitely check that out. But I'm going to let you go, Doug.
All right.
I have some jelly beans to eat and some sparkling water cans to clean up over here. But it's been a pleasure, and I hope we get to talk real soon.
Sweet. Thanks.
All right. See ya. Well, that was nice. It's always nice to talk to Doug. All right, why don't we listen to something from Area Resident? This is a new one, actually. This is called Spout. So check it out. This is Ego and Vice.
You don't have to say anything. You don't have to talk to me. We don't have to order coffee. You don't need to agree. You can just say nothing. You don't have to look at me. We don't have to go for coffee. And I I'm not gonna order three. It's already open for you now. It's already open for you now. Yeah, it's already You don't have to say anything. You don't have to talk to me. We don't have to order coffee. You don't need to agree.
Well, you know what? I think I'll call that an episode. I think we've jammed enough into the first episode for season 5 as we need to. Any more and your head would spin. It would spin. I'd like to thank Doug Hempstead for being a guest on the show today. He's always great to talk to. I'd also like to thank everyone who stuck around through the thick and the thin. All 7 of you. But hey, without the 7 of you, the show wouldn't exist. So keep listening and enjoy. As always, you can get a hold of me at egoandvice@gmail.com. You can listen to the podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. But that's it for me. This has been episode 80. My name is Mike. We'll see you next week. Thanks for stopping by.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Wanna